because they're going to foul you, and you can reach your 50. And I ended up getting 51. But let me say this: I had an opportunity to get 50 as a Orlando Magic versus the Pelicans. But you know the unwritten rule: when the game's out of hand,
you can't score
the ball. I can't score. Yeah, here it is right here, man. I'm dribbling down the court. I knew it was 9 seconds, and I'm like, go. And I shook my head right there. I'm like, nah. James Posey said, hey, I love you, but I'll take you out the air if you go for this layup. So 48 points it is.
Right, because God forbid the fans should see Vince Carter do some spectacular athletic move while there's still time on the clock. That would be terrible. Very unsportsmanlike. Yeah, well, that's how it is. That's right. I don't know how it goes. I'd like to know once to know in my life how it goes to feel what it feels like to dunk a ball, Vince. Thanks, Vince. Coming up.
Yes, we will. Welcome to our LA studios here. I'm George Sedano with Chineo Gumake, and we're joined remotely by the future Hall of Famer himself, the man who played a record 22 seasons, Vince Carter. Let's start with the news. James Harden is returning in time for the Christmas Day game against the Lakers. So, Vince, what does this mean for Brooklyn?
It means you have a go-to guy. You have a guy that not only is a facilitator, but a guy can make things happen, put eyes on the offensive guy and create for everyone else. James Harden, if James Harden plays like we saw him in Houston, this is a good sign for them because, yes, he's been a little tentative, a little hesitant, hasn't been playing his best basketball. But, man, if he gets into old James Harden mode, this is a great sign of having him back, particularly if you don't have Kevin Durant or Kyrie.
I'm right there with you, Vince. You actually stole my whole answer, but it's okay. It's Christmas spirit. I'm not going to be the Grinch. I'm not going to be Scrooge.
Cheat off your sheet.
But I do agree. You know, I always say this a million times, but it just tells you that I watch a lot of the Rockets games. As a Houstonian, you sort of hope, that he's able to get back to that type of form, especially mentally. You know this, Vince, as a primary option. We saw Paul George start the year well because he knew what it was like to be a primary option for his team. I think it's the same thing for James Harden. Again, this year, he's shooting around 40% from the field, 33.7%, I believe, from three. Those are around his career lows. Opportunities like this, especially to an athlete, when there's no KD. You saw what KD did when he was by himself out there. There's no Kyrie. All right, it's back to me knowing that every shot is the best shot. And so I think it's a Christmas miracle almost that we got a star lined up to play in this game, whereas we did not know that was possible before. So I'm right there with you, Vince. I hope we get to see a little bit more of that fire, that rocket fire, but this time from Brooklyn Nets, James.
Yeah, hopefully for James Harden, that kind of shakes him out a little bit of the rut that he's in. But if you're the Nets, I'm pretty sure you want KD in that lineup too. So
absolutely.
We'll see if that's the case. All right, let's get to the Nets' opponent on Christmas Day, which is the Lakers. Yesterday, acting head coach David Fizdale spoke about how Russell Westbrook may be pressing in the absence of Anthony Davis. Let's take a listen.
Some of his plays, he was probably moving too fast or trying to press when things weren't there. And again, these are things that we just had, like I said, we had a great film session. Guys were very open and receptive. And we just talked about connection things. How do we use your talent that draws all of these players to make sure that leads to a great shot for us?
So, Chiney, what do you think Fizz means when he says that Russ is pressing?
Well, let me not tell you. Let me show you.
Let's go.
Cool. All right, the Lakers, they right now truly need stability. They're 16-16. They're a 500 team. And the reality is Anthony Davis is out for the foreseeable future. Stability comes from the point guard position. And your point guard the last 2 games had 13 or so turnovers. That's not good. So what Coach Fizdale is saying is less is more. And I'll show you exactly what that means. Roll me the tape, producer Kwaku, baby. All right, Russell Westbrook, this is where he gets himself in trouble. 22 seconds on the shot clock. You have to get a great shot playing team basketball. Instead, he forces when the defense is set up, and you can see his exasperation and also Coach's exasperation.
That was a Shackton the other day.
That was definitely a Shackton, but this was not. This was a game-winning play. Look on the other side. This is what he does well. All right, the defense is not guarding you. You force them to react. He sees the help side defense here. We all saw our favorite shot from young Austin Reeves, but this is Russ at his best when the game is set. We saw LeBron James initiated the play. He forced the defense a clap. He graded a second line of defense, kicked out the assist. That's the Brody in his bag. The difference of picking and choosing your moments, that's what Russell Westbrook has to do, especially now for the Lakers, because they know they need him now more than ever. Coach Tara Vanderveer, my Stanford Hall of Fame, speaking of a Hall of Famers today, my Hall of Fame coach used to always tell us less is more, and why? Because winning, that's fun, you know? So at the end of the day, the Lakers, they need to grind out wins because this is an opportunity for them, especially going up against a team less stars.
Yeah, and by the way, I was there. I saw that pass coming right at Austin Reeves. I was standing by the score.
Oh, yeah, he totally served you.
He served me. I feel old. I'm washed. It's okay. But by the way, Austin Reeves fouled on that play. He was fouled on that play.
You're right, sir.
But Vince, forget about the fact that he was fouled. I want to bring you in here. What do you make of what Fizz said?
Well, yeah, I want to add to what Shanae said, really, and it goes into what Fizz says, and you're right. If you're struggling, your team's not scoring well, you're not defending well, one thing you cannot do is turn the ball over. And you can't have your lead guard, your point guard, one of your lead guards, turning the ball over at that high of a clip. So for Russ, making the game simple for himself and everyone else, you can see the difference. Forcing it into double teams, yeah, when things are rolling, he can force it in there and you're like, okay, fine. But when your team's not playing well, you have to play under control. Just like that three that he understood. Yes, as a closeout, let me get into the paint. Yes, I see a double team on AD underneath. Make the right pass, and you live with the results. Well, the result led in a Reeves three-point winning shot. So Russ has it in him. He just has to play under control. And when he's feeling good, he tends to play under control.
All right, let's move on here. Let's take a look at today's crunch time moment brought to you by Ruffles. Manu Ginobili, a man you faced, Vince, many times, was named a 2022 Hall of Fame nominee. Manu, a four-time champion who made the playoffs in every season of his career. What an accomplishment there with that great run with the Spurs. So, Vince, again, you competed against him many times. How do you remember Manu?
Well, first of all, this is not a surprise. This was a guarantee. I mean, Manu, hey, when you think of Eurostep, where it came from, who do you think of?
Manu.
That man right there, Manu, man. And Manu was amazing and tough to guard because at the time you come in, you were guarding all the superstars. There it is. There's a Euro. Look at it, got guys just kicking and swiping away. But when you were guarding guys, you didn't see left-handed guys often. And he comes in and goes left, Euro, and oh man, congratulations to him. But this is what I remember about Manu the most. No, not the most. But this was, in the playoffs, and a big shot for me after missing a shot similar in that corner. And yes, he did the flyby, and he didn't foul, which caused me to pump fake, and I was still able to knock it down. So salute to Manu, to a true Hall of Famer, and he deserves it.
And the flex there by Vince Carter after making that shot. I saw that. You deserve that flex. By the way, if Manu is elected, he would be the first non-American born Latino Hall of Famer. So looking forward to his eventual enshrinement. All right, coming up, Vince Carter takes us to his upper room. Find out who will join this exclusive list of elite dunks for this season. Plus, Malika Andrews will take us through her favorite things she saw last night. That's all next here on NBA Today.
Live from Los Angeles.
Welcome back to NBA Today. So there weren't a ton of games in the NBA last night, but there were still moments in the league and just around the basketball community that made Hoophead smile. So in the spirit of a little bit of holiday cheer, here are some of my favorite moments from last night. So let's start with Miss Fitz. She is a third grade teacher at the Holy Trinity School in Washington, D.C. She lines up her shot and swishes in a deep three-pointer. And look at the faces of her students. She won them free hot chocolate. I mean, teachers, they are superheroes, and the school is currently accepting donations for financial aid scholarships. It's just awesome. So on to the league. Jordan Nwora of the Milwaukee Bucks is off a pass from Drew Holiday. He puts his defender on skates. I mean, my goodness, but no. That's not all. As he's getting back on defense, he recreates the skate. Thanasis Antetokounmpo loves it. My goodness. Christian Wood, he did kind of put him on a poster later, but that's neither here nor there. And then last but certainly not least, ISO Joe. So the silver lining of teams needing to sign these extra players with COVID is seeing some familiar faces get a little bit of run. So ISO Joe hit this bucket playing in his first game for the Celtics since 2002. It's a quintessential ISO Joe shot, and the crowd gave him a standing ovation. So just a little bit of holiday cheer to throw your way. Sedano, take it away.
All right, Malika, thank you. We need to get Misfits versus Steph somewhere on a basketball court
Yes.
pregame or something. All right, I'm back here with Janae, and of course, it's time for Vince Carter's own segment entitled The Upper Room, where we'll run through.
The upper room.
Yes, sir.
Baby.
So we'll run through some of the great dunks from this past week, and we'll see if any of these players will be granted entry into that upper room. So, Vince, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, first up, Dame Lillard. Let's check out Dame. What do we got here?
So they said Dame Lillard had abdominal injury and was hurting and was out and then comes back and he does this. Dame with the crossover to the leaner. I mean, okay, young fella, like, tell him everything's good in the ab. Yeah, so, I mean, he got a little house there.
I like it.
One more time. Cross him over with a leaner, like, oh, okay, another angle.
Hang time right there, Vince.
All right, let's go to the next
Get a little
one.
hang time.
Let's go to the next one. Now, that was Dame against some young legs of Charlotte. Here's some young legs. The Time Lord,
Now, you talking about
Williams.
some young legs. Robert Williams here. You see, I mean, just little contact in the legs. And Shanae, like we talked about, it's all about concentration. But look at where he gets hit. He gets hit on the lower body.
Yep.
Usually when you get hit there, you're coming down.
You're done.
He's still going up and flying. I mean, that's impressive. And he did it with his offhand at that. Like,
Exactly. The
All right.
last little tap in.
Last one, another young leg here. Isaac Okoro with the two-hand stuffer.
And then what makes it crazy is when he flexes, he's looking at all the people in his body. It was so many people, he couldn't look at all of them. It's like, he dumps it, he's like, I look at you on the ground, I look at you, turn around, and where's the third one?
This
Where
is my
is he?
pick, Vince. This
Look
is my
right here.
pick.
All right.
Where is he?
And because it's
That's your pick?
because it's the holiday season, I have one extra one. Lastly, Christian Wood. Look how fast that happened. We need to do that one more time so Vince can see it again. Here we go. Here's another angle.
1, 2, I see you. And
I
at
love that.
that moment, say it with your chest is what he said. He said, oh, you gonna fall back on my guy? Well, let me put you on a poster with my chest. You see, like, takes a body, man. Golly. So, Shanae, you said, which one was your favorite?
Oh, I had to go with the one where 3 of the Rockets went down. Like
Okay,
3 bodies
okay.
all around.
The Isaac
You know what I'm
Okoro one,
saying?
right? That was your
Yes,
favorite one?
absolutely.
All right. All right, so
Okay.
Vince, we've seen them all. Janae's got her favorite. Any of these players going into the upper room?
Okay.
Let me see. Christian Wood dunked with the comeback. Security. Please remove the rope.
Oh.
Please remove the rope. Isaac Okoro.
Yes!
Welcome to the upper room, baby.
There it is. The young man from the Cavs who are surging this holiday season as he surged to the basket gets in. So let's take one more look at that dunk from Isaac
have
Okoro.
to. This
Let's
is-
take another look at it. I mean, look at getting down the center of the lane and, like,
Yeah.
you know, when you're ready for liftoff, right here, nothing can stop you. And I mean, he was able to take the hit, still great body control right here, and just said, all 3 of y'all take a ride to the upper room with me.
Nothing can stop you. I'm all the way up.
Yo,
All the
there we
way
go.
up.
bodies.
There we go.
One dunk.
Yes,
I am
sir.
all the way here for
Yes,
this.
sir.
Congratulations, Isaac Okoro.
Yeah,
Merry
Okoro.
Christmas to Isaac
Nigeria.
Okoro there from
Nigeria.
Vince Carter, letting you in the upper room. All right, coming up on the last game of the night here at Staples, we've got some great moments here, historical moments, top hoop moments in Staples Center history. That's coming up next, right here on
can't
NBA Today.
Look at here. That's what it's gonna be. Have everything I need.
The annual NBA on Christmas Day tradition continues. We've got 2 games on ESPN, Hawks and Knicks to start it off, and Mavs Jazz to end it, and 3 games in between on ABC, including Celtics Bucks, where I'll be, Warriors Suns, where Malika will be, and of course the A-Team with Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, and Lisa Salters, Nets Lakers here in Los Angeles on Christmas Day. Staples Center, by the way, will soon become Crypto.com Arena. So let's take a moment here to look back at some of the great Staples moments. We begin In Game 7 of the 2000 West Finals against Portland, the Lakers finished off a 15-point fourth-quarter comeback with that alley-oop.
Oh!
Epic alley-oop from Kobe to Shaq, and
Even
Bob
better
Costas
reaction.
was on that call. Great call by Bob back then. As many calls as he's had, I'm sure. And then from 2002,
Oh, I remember this.
Nikki Teasley hits the WNBA Finals game-winning three-pointer. 2 seconds left
Y'all
in Game
know
2
what
as the
college she went
Sparks won their second consecutive championship.
Go Sports!
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then
Yeah.
the Mamba clinched his 5th championship by helping the Lakers beat the Celtics in Game 7 of the
Iconic.
2010 NBA Finals. Metta World Peace hit monster threes to put Boston away as well. That was number 5 for Kobe. And speaking of Kobe, the farewell game, 60 points in his final game of his career back in 2016, the most by a player in a final regular season game
Wow.
in NBA history. At 37,
Crazy.
he was also the oldest to ever score 60 points. So, Janae, what was your favorite Staples Center moment?
As a young person, that Kobe final game, obviously. But as a player for the WNBA, my favorite moment, besides playing against the Sparks and playing on the Sparks, has the legendary Spark, Lisa Leslie, the first
yes.
player in WNBA history
Yeah.
to dunk right there,
There
2
it is.
dribbles from midcourt, July 30th, 2002. She just set the standard for what women could do and continue to do each and every day, being fierce, being feminine, doing things, businesswoman. Like, everything I do is like, everything I think is, what would Lisa Leslie do?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my favorite moment.
Yeah, against the Miami Soul, by the way, my old
Yes.
WNBA squad.
Which became the-
the Connecticut Sun.
I love you, man. That's why I love you, George.
There you go.
I love you,
All right,
sir.
Vince, what about you?
Oh, well, I played 22 years. A lot has happened there. So,
Okay, flex.
No, I'm going to say the Lob versus the Clippers. Oakley to D Brown, and D Brown just throws it up, and we figure it out from there. And it turned out to this. So good old 2000. Ooh, 2000. Wait, that was 20. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Of course, you do something
So,
with the
yeah,
upper
man.
room.
So that felt like you
Yeah,
hit the
man.
pause button straight up. Like, it felt like you hit the pause button, caught the ball, and then dunked it. It was crazy. That's nuts.
So I used to tell those guys, I was like, hey man, just throw it up there, and I'll figure it out. And D Brown literally threw it up there, and that's what we came up with.
2 quick moments for me. Kobe's 81-point game at Staples Center obviously was one to remember.
Yes.
I think everyone remembers where they were watching that one. It was popped up on SportsCenter, on NBA TV, everywhere. And then Beyonce and